Joining me now is Tom DeWeese of AmericanPolicy.org. Tom and I have been working together over 30 years. I know we look too young to have been working together over 30 years, but we have been. He joins us now. Tom, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brandon.
Hey, Tom, my editor, Jill, sent me a text today. She said, Brandon, what do you know about mega regions? And I had to look it up. Mega regions, like, what is this? And so I went and looked it up. And sure enough, there you go. Regional Plan Association map of the United States showing the 11 U.S. mega regions. What is this all about? And how does this fit in with Agenda 2030, if it does at all?
Well, it does. And I had not heard this particular term myself until you sent me the email this morning. But I did. I looked them up. And let's just start by getting what they tell us that they are. They first of all, I've warned for years about NGOs, non-governmental organizations, having a lot of control over our lives. Well, this is one of them. And this Regional Plan Association, they say our professional researchers and regional planners seek to improve the prosperity, sustainability, and quality of life through work in transportation, economic development, and real estate, environment, and open space, and more. Well, that's pretty much everything in our lives that they want to cover, but they go on. And they say the balanced and sustainable growth strategy of the United States in a regional plan, that is what they're looking at. And they go a little farther. They say America 2050, which is the program they're promoting, began several years ago, organized around the idea that these 11 mega regions, home to 3/4 of the nation's population, are the economic engines of the nation and the new competitive units in the global economy. First of all, it sounded like it was local. Now it's the global economy. And it says the focus is on the development of a national growth strategy. But then they go on and say that the context of the economic development strategy comes from the territorial cohesion program in the European Union. There it is. This is a global plan to force in all of our communities where the growth is, our major cities and the areas outside of them, controlling our development, our housing, our transportation, our energy use, all of those things that we've talked about over the years. And then they go on. There's one more thing that they really focus on. The Regional Plan Association will hold ourselves accountable for progress in diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI is the root of these plans as they're putting them together.
Now, some people, Tom, are saying that when they get the chance, they want to make all this gray area where humans cannot roam. Now, is that going too far for someone to speculate on that, or is that probably in their plan somewhere sometime?
Absolutely not. First of all, we've heard of 30 by 30. This is, Biden had an executive order on this, and they've been trying to put it in place for the last few years. And that was calling for locking away at least 30% of all the land in the United States by the year 2030. And what we have seen over the years is their move to move people off the rural areas into the cities, the smart growth plan, the sustainable development, the 15-minute cities. You've heard all these terms. That's what it all is. And why would they want to do that? Well, the truth of the matter is this is about control. And if they have people living in the cities, they can control your energy use. They can control your transportation, where you go, how you go, the living quarters that you have, and probably the job you're working as well. They control the economy. People who live in the rural areas are much more independent, and they can live without all of this control over them. And that's a threat to them. And we see now the attack on farmers all over the country. You've got China buying up a whole lot of the farmland, but you've also got conservation easements, all kind of movements to control farmland, take control of it away from the farmers themselves. They put these sustainable strategies on growth or on the farming. So they're telling them, well, you can't grow on this area of the farm because we need to keep that open for wildlife. And you need to cut down the size of your cattle herd, and because they cause pollution as well. And you should grow these kind of crops, but you should do it this way. Once they do all of that, the farmers learn that they can't stay in business, and because they can't make money using these programs. And what you're ending up with is the only farmers that can exist under all of this are the big corporate farms that play ball with all of this. And now the latest we hear from them is, well, eat bugs.
Yeah, well, this fits with your article you just wrote. Conservation easements, the land grab that must be stopped. And you got another one, but I'm going to go into this one right now. But I mean, this all fits with. Thank you, Caleb. This all fits with what we're talking about in these mega cities and making it where people can't go into biospheres. Remember, wasn't it a race car driver 20 years ago? His snowmobile broke down and ended up walking into a biosphere and ended up getting ticketed, some major race car driver. Do you remember that?
I have not heard that story. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'll look it up.
But I believe it.
I'll look it up. There was a major race car driver. He was on a snowmobile. I think it broke down, or he rode the snowmobile into a biosphere, and they ended up ticketing him because he'd gone into an area where it was a biosphere or whatever. I'll look it up real quick. But this whole land grab thing, this fits with your conservation easement article.
Absolutely. We have, as I said, farmers are under massive pressure to, and you just think about it. You're a farmer, and all you want to do is do your job, do what you grew up to do, what you wanted to do on your land, and you've got all of these forces that have billions of dollars behind them. They've got they've locked themselves in with the elected representatives in the state government or the local county government, whatever it will be, and they're all pressuring you to follow their rules. And you begin to think, well, there's nothing more I can do. What can I do here? And the other part of this is that your local elected representatives, the people that you elected to represent you, in your city council, your county commission, your state legislature, they are all kowtowing to these non-elected regional councils like this RPA that we're talking about here. And what you'll hear them say is, well, there's nothing more we can do because this is just the way it's done now. And this is all about total control of your life and the things you need in your life. And we are losing farmers by the thousands. We're losing cattle ranchers by the thousands. And as I said, the only thing that's going to be left are corporate farms that play ball with them and do what they tell them to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I want to try to see if I can find this article real quick because I think I just found it. Okay, here we go. This is from the Washington Examiner. Okay, the Washington Examiner put this article out. I don't know what year they wrote this article. August 6, 2024. Overruled how Bobby Unser became a federal convict. As the close of the Supreme Court's last term, Justice Neil Gorsuch concurred in the court's 6-3 decision disregarding the 40-year-old Chevron doctrine, which required Article 3 judges to defer to federal judges when Congress's statutory language is ambiguous. Okay, goes on from there. And I want to come on down here. All right. One of the stories related by Gorsuch is that of my former client, famed New Mexico race car driver Bobby Unser of Albuquerque. Now, see, I remember when this happened. Unser, you're going to remember it too. Unser, 63 years old and 3-time Indy 500 winner on a beautifully clear December day in 1996, went for a snowmobile ride in a national forest in southern Colorado. When a dangerous blizzard swept down upon Bobby and his friend, they were in deadly peril. Quickly, they became disoriented and then lost as they struggled to find their way to safety. Eventually, they made it to civilization, but not before they abandoned their snowmobiles in the deepening snow, spent the night shivering in a hastily carved snow cave, and hiked out of the natural forest through waist-deep snow for 18 hours. They nearly died. Although Bobby's safety was assured, his legal peril was just beginning. The Clinton administration charged him criminally with operating a snowmobile in a federal wilderness area. He faced 6 months in jail. I argued Bobby had not been in the federal wilderness area, but if he were, he was there out of necessity or because of an emergency. That is, he had no intention of being within the federal wilderness area, an element of the crime. Federal prosecutors insisted that despoiling a wilderness was a public welfare offense, which required no proof of criminal intent. A federal district court agreed, and Bobby was convicted without proof of criminal intent. Later, a three-judge panel in the U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals, U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit rejected my arguments that Bobby was neither in the area nor possessed criminal intent. In fact, the panel held it was up to Bobby, not the Forest Service, to prove he was where he was during the blizzard. Finally, on the first Monday of October in 1999, Supreme Court denied Bobby's petition. Gorsuch discusses the federal government's criminal case against Bobby, who died in May of 2021 at the age of 87, to make several points, including in passing the power of the federal government to wage legal warfare against its citizens. It spent $1 million to brand him a criminal and secure a $75 fine. I remember this. I remember, and I think you and I even talked about it back in 1996.
That's possible.
This is the stupidity of the kind of thing we're talking about. And don't think that that can't be done in huge swaths of the country with these biospheres. True?
Absolutely. And even under the 30 by 30, there has been talk of literally locking away our national parks from human activity in some cases. I mean, that's just how far it goes. And we've been fighting this for many decades, what they've done to the timber industry, where, they stopped them from even cleaning dead trees out of the bottom of the forest. And I remember back in the 90s, former Congresswoman Helen Chenoweth took a delegation from Congress into the forest there in Oregon and showed them they had 10 feet of kindling on the floor of the forest. These were dead trees that had been there. And it was so thick that many times even small animals couldn't get through. But they were told, oh, this is natural. This is the reason why we have these massive, hot, burning fires in the forest today that we didn't used to have, because of these kinds of things. That human beings are not allowed to be there and do anything in these forests, even clean them out and try to keep them in good shape.
Let's see here. Let's go to one more article you've got. Hey, Logan, someone come and grab this. I think it's my next guest. One more here. Supreme Court rules Utah doesn't have a right to its own land. Talk about this in closing.
Yeah, this is, they've been trying in Utah and other states, and west of the Mississippi, states are much more owned by the federal government than on the other side of the Mississippi, where 97% of our land is privately owned on one side. On the other side, it's the other way around, and the government is running it. The state of Utah has been running a legal campaign to try to free up about 18 million acres that make it more private owned by the state of Utah instead of the federal government. And they have been shut down in trying to do that. The Supreme Court said, nope, can't do that. And the whole point here on all of this, Brandon, is property rights. Mm-hmm. Trying to own your own personal property, control it, own it, do what you want to do with it. This is what is being wiped out. And it all goes back to sustainable development. Right. Sustainable development cannot be imposed if property rights are protected. And so if you look at your comprehensive plan in your own community, I challenge people all the time, look for one single word in there about protection of property rights. Doesn't exist. And what we're seeing, these regional councils that are not elected by anybody are dictating to your elected officials. They are literally wiping out our ability to vote for whom we want, to run our community the way we want it to be run. And these people who are not elected to anything come in and start dictating. This is a result of it.
Yep, absolutely. So we're going to come back now full circle. I want to bring back up that map I sent you. We're going to come back full circle on these this map here, because this is what we're saying. We're saying that this is a real possibility, that the idea of 11 U.S. mega regions and basically, pushing everybody into government ghettos, right? And smart cities where everything is digital and regulated. And then what if you can even get on an airplane, and how many times a year they'll let you get on an airplane? I mean, their goal is openly stated to tag every one of us. It's a part of Agenda 2030. We're moving there with digital IDs, and now they can fine you if you go outside your town more than you should. If you eat more meat than they want you to eat, if you get on too many airplanes in a given year, your quota's up. I'm sorry. I mean, this is where we're headed if we let these environmental Marxist fascists do this, right?
Yeah, and what's really important here is we now have we're seeing the Doge situation and what they're exposing and what the Trump administration is doing. And my greatest fear is that so many people say, "Oh, good, they're taking care of everything. We don't have to do anything more." That is absolutely the opposite, the wrong way to go on that. Because first of all, just back in October of this past year, before the election, the World Economic Forum held a conference in San Francisco. And the point of that was they knew that Trump was going to win. They knew he was going to cause them problems at the federal level. And so what's our strategy? Go to the local level and put these things in place. And that is what they're doing. That is what this plan is designed to do, in the local level instead of the federal. And keep pushing this agenda. The agenda has nothing to do with protecting the environment. It has nothing to do with improving your life. It has to do with controlling a global agenda and putting it all in place. And that's what we're seeing them do step by step. And that's where we have got to now organize locally in your community to stand up to it, because you're going to find, you try to talk to your city councilman and so forth, and they're going to say to you, well, that's just the way it's done now. There's nothing we can do about it. This appointed board says we've got to do this way. And that has got to be changed. They have got to be pressured to represent you. Or why don't we save a lot of tax dollars and get rid of all these local governments, because they're already being run by these regional councils, which is this side of communism.
Absolutely. Yep. Tom DeWeese, AmericanPolicy.org, AmericanPolicy.org. As always, thank you, Tom.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks, Brandon.
Tom DeWeese checking in. Check out his site, AmericanPolicy.org.